Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters, and welcome to our trailer breakdown for The Mean One. Alrighty, Luke, welcome back to the channel here. This is great to have you. I know you had yourself a pretty productive and hectic weekend, so we
It was a
missed you
wild
on
one.
the Sunday Scaries, where I did cover some stuff about The Mean One and basically just what was going on with all that, and I kind of went over my general excitement for it. So, Luke, why don't you refresh us? Because I know it's been a while since we talked about it together on how you're feeling about this movie.
Oh, I'm very intrigued by this one because I did catch the Sunday Scary, so kudos to Dylan for carrying the torch while I was gone and away. But this one I'm still intrigued by. I know you kind of brought up this idea of a lot of these Disney or kid stories being converted into a lot of horror films here.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of getting some, I don't know, a big lineup here as we sit here today. Whereas, like looking at the Grinch, for me, this is probably the most organic transition from that kind of kids book, kids idea into a horror film because it some of these seem like a stretch. A lot of them, Winnie the Pooh, Bambi now, um,
Yes.
even even like Neverland, there it takes a sell. It's like I don't know if that works, and then to sell that film as a horror film, where it's like the Grinch, it already has those undertones. I mean, they're very light when you look at the animated story and everything, but it's there. So, like for this to say it's getting a horror film doesn't surprise me at all. It actually excites me. So, especially oh my God, what's his name? Is it David Howard Thornton? I always
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Having him attached to this and seeing what he does with Art the and now obviously we're gonna break down this trailer here, seeing what he can do with just his work, his body work, his movements. I was excited at the announcement of this because I think he'd be a perfect choice to actually uh, do this character justice on film. So I'm excited. I'm excited to break down this trailer.
Yeah, no, was very much looking forward to this trailer. I know I said it on the Sunday Scaries that I was eager to see some footage from this. This is one of those things where, to me, it feels like they kind of had an idea, and they couldn't get the license to do it. Obviously, I don't think the people at Dr. Seuss were going to let them horrify the Grinch or make him, a slasher killer without, either paying out majorly or just flat out saying no, we're not doing that. But it is one of those things where I agree with you. This is the easiest transition. The Grinch is already kind of an anti-hero in a sense. Like, you could just not have the ending of that movie or that story, and he would still be kind of a D-bag the whole time. So to have him kind of be murdering people makes total sense. It's a lot like a killer Santa Claus kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
just the antithesis of that, making him this monstrous green creature that goes out and slaughters people. So it's like it all works. And this being what it is and knowing that it is going to be pretty low budget doesn't really deter me. I know that we're working with very minimal budget, them just kind of stringing resources together, and obviously they've kind of had to change a few things because this does fall under the addles of parody. So it's basically talking about things like instead of Whoville, it's Newville. Cindy, who is kind of the way they're swinging this. So I would not be surprised if that's kind of how we go through all of this, where most of the characters are just plays off of the ones from the original concept story and film. So it's just like one of those things where it's like, I think that this is cool though. And I think that, I can forgive them not having the biggest budget. So, where there are some shots in this because I've already seen the trailer. Have you watched it before this?
Oh yeah, I watched it a couple times.
Okay, cool. So I watched it twice. And it's one of those things where it's like, we'll talk about it when we get to the breakdown, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, does it look the highest quality and the highest budget? No. But I think that this just looks like a fun concept and something I'm actually genuinely really excited to see.
Yeah,
So I
and kind of
guess, oh, go ahead.
oh no, and just kind of following it as you're talking about, kind of like the parody and everything like that, where you can't go extremely in line with the actual story itself, where it has to be kind of an offshoot of it, which that stuff's really not going to hurt it, I don't think, because it's like one of those introduction things, and then so it's like as we bypass everything else and get past, what the original names were, and they're not lining up 100%, where it's the mean one, we're not calling him Grinch or anything like that. Once you get past that initial storytelling device, which will probably be the first 15 to 20 minutes, and you move on
Mhm.
from that, I don't think it's going to affect the story at all.
No, I think they're gonna take an original spin with it. There are a couple things I hope we see, but again, with it being so low budget, I don't know if we'll get there. But why don't we hop into this trailer? We'll take a look. Let's break some of this down. So we got it up here. We'll do a little watch through commentary, and then we'll kind of go through scene by scene.
Remember that story about Cindy you know who?
I like the narration here too, because it's very on brand.
Why, Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Why?
But what if I said that's not how it went down?
And I like this right here, kind of
Mhm.
an alternate.
Yeah, and I gotta
I
say,
think that's a lot of fun.
those effects, man, for the Grinch look great. I like that a lot. They nailed it.
Reliable description of the man.
And that's really what you needed. If you have a good looking Grinch, I think you can get away with a lot.
Oh yeah. I'm hoping that this is a gore fest. I know they're not showing much, but if this is a gore fest, I think this could be a whole lot of
go
fun.
through another Christmas
Yeah.
killer thing.
I think that's what you need. And I think that's
Mhm.
probably what they're going to double down on, to be honest.
Christmas card. But that man that lives just north of me
And
does not.
I watched this on my phone last time, but now watching this on my computer screen, this actually doesn't look half bad.
Yeah, I know. The production value seems to be there for me. You know what I mean? Where it's not going to be jarring trying to watch and be like, this doesn't feel like an actual film.
Yeah, some of those interiors with the lights and stuff, with them using the Christmas lights, I like that. There you go. I
think
wonder
this
if
would
he's
be fun
going to
and gory
talk.
enough.
I know. I wonder if he's going to talk. I wonder if they're going to give him a voice, or it's just going to be primarily body language and acting and all that.
Yeah. I would
All
like
right.
to see him do some voice acting, because we see Art the Clown and we don't really get. We don't get anything in terms of audio with that, and it's just body work. So we know his body work. It's great. It's phenomenal. I'm curious to see what kind of projecting he's going to bring there, if we're going to get some dialogue from him.
Absolutely. Now let's take a look at this a little bit. We'll kind of pause as we go along here. So one of the things I like is Mount Crumpet. One of the things I want to see. So in the original, but Jim Carrey remake, if you want to call it that, they go to Mount Crumpet. There's a scene that sticks out to me. Have you seen that recently, or has it been a long time? Or have you ever seen
Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey's Grinch?
Version?
Yeah. Yeah.
I certainly have seen it last year. It's one of the ones that I do watch on rotation during the holiday season.
Okay, cool. Because it's one of those things for me where I grew up watching that movie. It was one that I really enjoyed. So it's like, for me, it is one of those classics I watch. So there's a sequence where some of the Who's go up to kind of bug the Grinch, and they're just standing outside the door, and it really builds some pretty decent tension for a child's movie. I'm kind of hoping for stuff like that, where we have people that go up on the mountain and disturb him, and then he can just go ape shit on him. Because one of the things that 3C Films, I saw his trailer reaction to this beforehand, brought up that I liked a lot was, apologize. The Grinch is very creative in the sense of him kind of building things and having kind of, these little contraptions and creations. So I'm wondering if that'll come into play at all in this.
Yeah, and I think that would be interesting to kind of have a little bit of a change of setting and bring him up to almost his playground in a sense, because I do love when they are in his little lair. Only it's short time, but it's like his world, So I'm curious to see if they'll bring that. I'm also excited for him just to be down in, what is it, Newville?
Newville, yeah.
Just at night. I think, looking at the original concept, especially, because I grew up with the animated version, but then, the Jim Carrey version, the live action, was such a big film that a lot of people have almost adopted that. And every holiday season, which I do enjoy that film a lot. And just going into those night sequences of him, they don't lean into horror, but obviously our brains will go that route because we're such big horror fans, and mine has always went that route. So I'm very intrigued to see him kind of in the town at night when everyone's sleeping. I hope they do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really like a lot of that. Now we're kind of moving through here. So this is obviously that setup that we were talking about beforehand, where we see the Grinch is here. I'm wondering if he's I believe he's probably stealing presents at this point. I wonder why he doesn't kill her. I wonder if there might be a thing with that where he doesn't kill children or something like that.
Maybe he just doesn't get to it.
Maybe, yeah,
Maybe
something could happen. But yeah, no. So it's like they have this whole setup, and then the mother walks in, and we can see that they're kind of covering some stuff up here. But it looks like he's kind of smacking the shit out of her.
I mean, like, I feel like this is almost a robbery gone bad, right? Like,
yes.
Essentially, is probably what's going to be. So, he probably was caught off guard and ended up killing everybody else and didn't get a chance. Maybe. I don't know. I do like this too that you're pausing on here.
Yeah, no, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to highlight some of these effects because, yeah, I mean, it's low budget, but it looks really good. Like this is Jim Carrey level in my sense. I like this a lot, and it's a very much more macabre, demented looking. Yeah, you can see he's got the patches on his suit and everything.
Is there
he
blood in his teeth, or does he just look red? I don't know. I can't tell.
It might be rot. I know, like in some of the photos I've seen, like the photo we have up for the corner here, it looks like his teeth are kind of rotted out.
Listen, if we get him like biting people and just blood dripping from his mouth, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. And this is her father, who survives that night. I guess we'll find out why or how. So they've kind of had to live with that. It seems like she's been gone for a while. She's been having nightmares about him. And then obviously this is a responding officer who, says that he was there that night, but they could never get a good description of the Christmas killer is what he's being notated as. And they say this is the description she gave of him. So it's like, obviously this is something that it seems like he's probably just some kind of urban legend or old wives' tale about the town. So it's not like necessarily the Grinch story where everybody knows about the Grinch. And he's kind of a wives' tale to the children, but people who actually grew up with him know that he is up on the mountain and that he is just a douchebag kind of thing. So I'm very curious.
And I do like that they're kind of
plays out.
They're bringing a sense of reality to it. I don't think they're all supposed to be like, how the Who's are in the Grinch, where I don't know, they're, I guess, kind of a different fictional species in a sense, where it's like here it's just human beings. So it's like they're kind of bringing it back to reality a little bit. I think that's interesting too.
I like that a lot as well. Yeah. And so it looks like he comes back for the father, and I wonder if we're going to find out why. You can really tell they're cutting around some of the gore and violence, which makes me excited to see. Hopefully they're not showing all the goods. Maybe they've learned. But then we get this, which, I'll see if I can pause it up there so we can kind of get a good shot of. I think he stabs him through the eyeball. Yes. So
there we go.
Yeah. And I mean, again, a little low budget there. That's some CGI blood and stuff. But again,
it's supposed to be such a quick shot that I don't think, they're not anticipating us pausing it and dissecting it. But, it's like such a quick little thing. I don't think that's, sometimes CGI really takes you out of it, but this is such a quick shot that I don't think it's really going to affect too much.
Absolutely. And I can forgive it for a fun concept like this. And it looks like that might be like the end of a candy cane thing of some sort. So
that'd be wonderful if they go.
I know they're really playing into that whole aspect. And then, we get a little bit more
day shots.
Yeah. So some day shots of the Grinch, which I'm interested to see. I wonder if this is maybe towards the end of the film, or
that's what I was about to say.
Her dreaming, because it's like I don't know if you'd want to show him that much, but again, he looks good, and I'm happy they're going mostly practical with his makeup and everything. You absolutely have to.
He looks even crazier in the whole daylight, so I don't know. Could be after a long, strenuous night there.
Yeah, and then it looks like this is something that's been taking people. So last seen December 14th, 2020. So it's one of those things where I'm wondering if these people are like hikers or something that end up going up towards the mountain and then get
Yeah.
taken. Because they're really emphasizing that mountain in this trailer. And then obviously she's getting told, the mean one, which I don't know if we're ever going to get to call him the Grinch necessarily,
I don't think
or
we
they
will.
might call him a Grinch,
Yeah.
because the Grinch is probably under copyright.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I like him grabbing the cleaver, which we've
Yes.
seen in the poster and everything. So, oh my gosh. And see, I love that. I think this looks great. Like, I'm excited to see this. And I think that, there's that creep factor to it.
His
Where,
facials are just tremendous in the trailer alone, so I can't
yeah,
really wait to see this in long form.
and it's David Howard Thornton. So, I mean, that he's going to bring that body language
He
to
knows
that.
what he's doing.
Exactly. So I really dig this. And then we got kind of the Laurie Strode thing from Halloween. I'm not going to be a victim anymore. Which again, for this doesn't bother me. If they were doing
Not
this
at
with
all.
like Leatherface or Jason, which they kind of did with Leatherface, I might roll my eyes a bit because I'm kind of over this trope. But no,
Yeah.
this is fine. This is good.
This becomes tongue in cheek at this point. You know what I mean? Where it's like they're kind of, I think, in on the joke.
Yeah, and then she's got a baseball bat or something with some lights wrapped around it. Seems like that's going to be the climactic fight. And then you see him bashing people in. That's a pretty good body shot. Let's see if we can catch that. So yeah, and there's him bashing her through. Looks like they
I
might
love
be at
like
that
the
bar.
zaniness of this a little bit.
Oh
that
yeah,
we're just catching glimpses of, and then also the gore that we're getting.
I know. We only have to wait till next week.
I know, it's wild. This thing's already creeping up.
I know, as long as we can either get that screener or it's going to be playing in our area. We only have to wait till then. If not, we have to wait another week until it comes to VOD. But either way, we're going to talk about this because, yeah, this looks like a whole bit of fun.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. And I love that. Just everything looks great. Like, look at that. He's got the big Grinch tummy and everything, too. Yeah, it just looks so fucking creepy and cool. That must be the candy cane that he used on her dad, or a version of it. Maybe it's like a sword kind of thing that he uses.
Fashioning
like,
his own
cool.
weapons, maybe.
Oh yeah, see, I love that shit. And yeah, all right, that's a good shot. We'll go back to that there. Very fun. I like that a lot. And just look at those eyes, like the expressiveness, everything.
And like you said, like the lighting here, I mean, like there's some brightness in certain things and vibrance, whereas like that one, I love when he's like concealed in the darkness, where the green still pops a little bit, adds that dementedness factor to it.
Absolutely. And the first thing I thought of when I saw this shotgun was a Call of Duty skin for like guns on around Christmas time. Is because they'll release little things, but I was just like, I'm here for it. Fucking candy cane shotgun.
Yeah,
let's go.
Let's do it.
Yep, and there we go. Final shot of the Grinch there. Given that scene, I love it. Yeah, and you're right. This looks zany. This looks wild. This looks like it could be potentially a really good time, and it bills itself as a Christmas horror parody. And again, I'm here for it, man. I think this looks great. I think this could be a good bit of fun. I've been saying it since it got announced, and it surprisingly looks better than I thought it was going to. Again, it's not high budget. We've been saying it this whole time, but it's one of those things where it's like, it still looks quality. It's still like there's something to it, because you will see movies like this where they'll have like a fully CGI Grinch for the most part. And they're clearly not doing that. They're playing with their strengths. They're shooting a lot of stuff in camera. We're seeing a lot of CGI blood, it looks like, with those hits and those attacks. But I mean, if they can make up for it with the gore factor, they don't have the luxury of having an effects wizard like Damien Leone directing this. So, it's kind of like, what are you going to do at that point? But I think that this, for what it is and when it's coming out and how quickly we're getting it, this could be a really fun time that I see myself watching every Christmas, just to, throw something horrific on.
Yeah. And like, from initially hearing about this to getting the trailer, and now it's going to be out in theaters, this is a real quick turnaround from my perspective, because I have not been sitting with this film a long time. So, to get this pace that we're getting and the quality that appears to be in this trailer, is tremendous. So I'm very intrigued to see what we're going to get in a, I don't know how long the runtime is going to be here. I don't anticipate it being, past an hour 30, just because it is such a small film. But, looking at the effects, the big thing is the Grinch. That's the selling point. If he didn't look good, I think that would take you out of the film. So even if some of the gore or CGI blood doesn't look the best, I'm going to forgive that because they really did a good job portraying the Grinch. So, you know, there's maybe a little bit of bad, but I think there's a lot of good in this trailer, and I'm really excited to see this film.
And I gotta say, if there any of the bad that I am seeing, it's good bad.
Yeah.
It's that kind of tongue in cheekness. It's that fun popcorn Christmas candy that I want. I just want some gore candy here with this fun concept. And who knows, this does really well. I don't think it's going to reach Terrifier levels, but say it does really well and it becomes a cult classic. This we could get a few more of these where
Yeah.
where they get a bigger budget and the Grinch gets to continue his story. I'll take it, man. Like, the
And
more Christmas horror we get, the better, like, in my opinion.
and that's where we, on Thanksgiving we did Thanksgiving, and it's like
Mhm.
there are things in film that are objectively terrible, but the film owns it, so they get a pass, and it makes it even more fun. So, like this film, they're in on the joke, they know what they're doing. Any of the zaniness is absolutely intentional, so it gets a pass. It's going to add to the atmosphere, it's going to add to the experience. So any of that kind of off the wall humor, I'm going to be here for it.
Absolutely. But alrighty, guys, I guess it's going to break it down and wrap us up for the Mean One trailer breakdown. Let us know what you guys think about this Christmas horror flick. Are you excited to see it? Are you going to try to make your way out to the theater to see it if it's playing near you? Or are you just going to wait for VOD? Again, we're super pumped for it. I'm looking very much forward to it. We are going to do our best to get a review to you guys as soon as possible. So yeah, if that all works out, hopefully we'll have one for you up December 9th. If not, we'll absolutely be picking this bad boy up on VOD just to get that to you by no later than December 15th.
And plus,
So
we got to show our support. So
absolutely, yeah, indie horror, man, let's go. But other than that, you guys can catch us on our social medias as usual, or you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at SplattercastPod, as well as follow us up on the channel here by hitting that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications, just so you know when our new videos are dropping. We are closely approaching 500. We're about 9 subscribers away. So if you want to be our 500th subscriber, hit that subscribe button and you might just make it. Once we hit that goal, that'll be a big one for us. I mean, shit, just the last couple of months, we never would have thought that we'd be here already. So yeah, once we hit 500, I mean, 1K is next. So we're going to keep pushing and keep delivering that great horror content. And as always, keep it right here because we are going to be having some great Christmas horror content coming to you guys later next month. So
'tis the season.
absolutely. Luke, you got anything left for him?
Now, just stay tuned. Yeah, like Dylan said, a lot of great Christmas content coming up. It's going to get frightful here on the channel. But yeah, a lot of other great stuff coming up even after the beginning of the year because me and Dylan are sitting down and kind of reconstructing a few different things and kind of getting a schedule put together. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You got to stick here on Splattercast.
Alrighty, guys. Well, other than that, I guess that wraps us up. So until next time, I'm Dylan Newell.
And I'm Luke Janesco.
And remember, stay scared.